Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. We're back for another week of Knicks Weekly. Apologize I wasn't able to do it yesterday. I was traveling back from a little mini family vacation. But hey, we're here now. And we got a couple of things to talk about. We're going to break down some good things. We got Kevin in the chat. We got Andy in the chat. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to go ahead and break this down. Just a quick reminder. Follow the channel. Go to Sportscaster. Follow me on Sportscaster at Simeon Russell. Follow the NBK network on Sportscaster. Sportscaster.com/NBK. And when you go to the network, follow everybody. We got Andy. We got Guillermo. We got Isaiah. We got Nickish. We got Die Hard Knicks podcast. Everybody's in the network, man. Make sure you follow everybody in the network. All right. Let's get these guys over here and let's talk a little bit. Andy, Kev, what's popping with you? How you guys feeling today?
Hey, feeling good, man. Feeling good.
What's up? What's up, Sim? What's up, Kevin? And what's up to the chat? Hope you guys got some questions for us so we can, have some material to chat about.
It's not a lot of there's not a lot of Knicks stuff out there right now. You know what I'm saying? But we got a couple of things that we can talk about. A couple of good questions that we can bring to the table.
Yeah, we saw some good for the past 2 weeks we've seen, actually this is like the third week, but we've seen some good material from what they've been doing in the abbreviated bubble per se.
Right. Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, Sim.
Okay.
Your boy, Mr. Wooten, started making a name for himself a little bit.
You think so? I don't know. Hey, look, I hope he does. The Knicks got him under contract. They got him under contract for another year. I hope he does. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I hope he does.
Well, I'm pulling for him, so I'm really pulling for him and everything. If he could crack that rotation, him and Iggy, I'll be set.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
Kevin, I'm pretty sure you're going with Kenny because Mitch ain't there, so.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing we got to talk about.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Talk about that too. I don't know. What's
up with that?
That's a good question.
I'm asking you, Kev.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I'm asking you, Kev. That's your man, 100 grand.
Oh, yeah.
That's your man, 100 grand, right?
Hey, I'm about to trade him in and take Kenny Wooten. No, I'm just kidding. No, he said that it was for personal reasons. So I don't put too much into personal reasons. If he can't be there, he can't be there. And seeing the pandemic, I'm assuming that he's probably getting talk from his agent, and we all know who his agent is, and that's probably what's going on with that. So I gotta respect what he's doing, but with saying that, I'm hoping that that we'll see something. It's for personal reasons. That we see something with him development wise, coming into the into the new season.
Right.
And we got so much time before the new season. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and
it is
listen,
what it is.
These are voluntary, right? So you can't get upset at anybody. It's voluntary. I don't like it when people draw conclusions, that somebody didn't attend a voluntary workout. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If it's voluntary, it's voluntary. And you can say, well, someone, they were there, they weren't there, this and that. That means they're not committed to the team or whatever. That's just not true. Who knows what he's got going on in his personal life?
Well,
exactly.
Well, if I can add something, he was in the individual voluntary workouts. And when they switched to the team workouts, let's say he went home, right, for personal reasons.
Yes.
The day he went home, and the evening and in the night, he posted plenty of videos on Instagram playing with a baby girl. I don't know if it's his or it's a sister, whatever. And that might be the personal reasons, that he didn't want to put out there. Just, get a glimpse for the fans so they can, at least know it's this or that, and at least we can assume it's this, right?
Yeah, and I see someone in the chat saying Mitch just had a baby, stop reaching. Well, we didn't know what it was, so that's why we have to assume, what's going on. Unfortunately,
hold on. I don't know who just said that, but what are we reaching at? I literally just said we don't know what's going on in their personal life. I literally just said that, didn't I?
Exactly.
Who said it in the chat?
This Siobhan Robinson.
Siobhan.
Oh, he always talking.
Come on, Siobhan. What are we reaching at? He's been in the chat before. Siobhan knows what's up. He's been
Siobhan,
in the video chat before. Come on, Siobhan. I literally just said we don't know what's going on in his personal life. The voluntary workouts. Oh my goodness. People. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Mitch though. You know, if he's home, because I think that's if the reason that he's home is because he wants to be there with his baby daughter, right? That's, first of all, it's way more important than coming and playing basketball with a team, right? And then secondly, that's just commendable. You know what I'm saying? That's just commendable that you're like, yo, I want to make sure I build this bond with my daughter. I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? I think that's great. I know, well, when my son was born, I wasn't working, so I had no choice but to be home. I was in school. I was in high school. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I got to, of course, spend time with him and bond. And then when my daughter was born, I took like 4 weeks off. You know what I mean? To make sure that I had that bond of time with the family. So, yeah, that's great. Big shout out to Mitch for that. And I'm pretty sure he's doing the things that he needs to do. You know, I'm pretty sure he's doing the things that he needs to do to stay in shape and continue to develop. You know what I mean? And I want to throw some shout outs out there. I see Hector Gaston became a 1970s, 1990s, and the 2000s all together, all in one, maybe upgraded each time. Member, thank you. I appreciate you. And I do want to just let everybody know that as far as being in the video chat, I'm sending the link out to anyone who is a member. Sending out the link so you can get into the video chat. And I'm going to keep this video, I'm going to have this video chat open so that members can come in and video at any time. And so if you're a member, you'll be able to come in and just video and talk to one another about the Knicks at any time. It'll just be open. After the show, I'll leave it open. Before, when I'm doing the show, I have to keep it closed where I let you in. You know what I'm saying? Because I got to monitor who's on the screen. We all know what happened before. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that to ever happen again. All right. But if you are a member, then
what happened?
You can join in. You know what happened. You know what happened already.
No, refresh my memory.
Or maybe Mark wasn't here. Maybe Mark wasn't here that day. Was Mark here that day? Andy, were you here that day?
No, I wasn't, but I saw before you did the addition.
Mark, you wasn't. You weren't here. Bro. I don't even want to know. I don't even know if I want to talk about it.
Yo, I'm kind of blind to it. What happened?
Oh my gosh! All right, so we was in the whereby and I let somebody in, right? And normally, if I see somebody's picture, I'm like, okay, they can get in. If they don't have a picture up, I don't let them in. This time, there's been a couple of times when I didn't. This time I was like, okay, I'm gonna let the person in. Maybe they just didn't get their screen together, right? So it was dark for a long time. It was dark. And then a nude person, when they open it up, the person is nude.
Wow. Well,
not just nude. All right. I'll talk to you about the rest of it later. I'll talk to you about the rest of it later. All right. So that's why we had to switch things up. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like you can still, that's why we switched things up. We needed some tighter security.
Oh, that's why you went from whereby.
Yeah, we needed some tighter security. Now it's kind of like I'll use the whereby and use it as a way to screen the person, and then I'll give them the link to get here. But I'm going away. Okay. I'm going away now where you just got to be a member. If you are a member, if you are a member of NBK, and you can go down to the bottom of the video and there's a thing that says join. If you're a member of NBK, you will get the link to be able to join in here.
Yeah, because low key, I kind of missed the weird part, because like when you go to the callers, we could be rattling our mouths, and then you come back. That's why I kind of missed with the weird bar compared to Zoom.
Yeah,
but it's all good.
But it's good. But anyway, and so just to let the members know, all you got to do, I'll make comments. I'll make posts. You know, you can make posts on YouTube. I'll make those posts, and those posts
don't be afraid to come in.
Only you will be able to see the post. And that post will have the link, okay? So that's the way it'll work. All right, so big shout out to Daryl D. Just became a 1970s NBA champion member. So big shout out to you.
All right.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
All right.
And also those members, just remember, as soon as we open back up and we are able to go see games, this, that, and the other thing, then you know, you guys will get discounted. You know, you'll get discounted tickets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? As soon as it opens back up. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Stephanie E, who just became a 70s NBA member. See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, Stephanie. All right.
You guys, make sure you pay attention to those posts. All right. So on those posts, you will receive the link to be able to get into this video chat. And you'll be able to just jump into the video chat and talk with us. All right. So, anyway. Let's talk about some stuff. We talked about Mitch having a baby and all of that stuff. All right, big shout out to Mitch. Yeah, Kev, anytime you bring up Mitch, boy, Kevin.
You just don't know, man. That day, just, you know, that night just was like, what? Am I hearing it correctly from everybody? You know. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Now, I'm cool. I'm cool.
Let's talk about RJ Barrett for a second before we get into some of these other things.
My boy changed his shooting motion.
There you go. See that? I didn't even get a chance to bring it up.
Mark, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that?
More elbows in. More elbow. I love it.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love it.
It's amazing. It's amazing what happens when you have development, meaningful development.
Wait, Kevin.
Okay, hold on.
Just
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's 1 second. Hold on. Stop for 1 second. Let's just take a look at it, though. Let's take a look at the shot.
Yeah. Bring it up on the screen.
I got it up on the screen. Right now.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're talking about RJ Barrett's development on his jump shot. All right, because you know you see him right now. He's working on his jump shot.
This is a man.
One thing I'll say, I think he has a really good flick of the wrist. That's important. A flick of the wrist is really important. Okay, I think that's really important. He's not getting much. He's got the follow through. He's not getting much elevation on the shot.
Yeah.
Okay, now that could be because he's just working out. Right, and he's not actually in gameplay. You know, in gameplay, you're gonna get up. You might get up higher. It depends. If it's a stand, you know, they kicked it out to you, and it's a stand and shoot, then you may not get as much elevation. Right?
That's Glenn Rice right there. That's Glenn Rice.
If you're pulling up on somebody, you're gonna get more elevation. So it depends on it depends on the shot. Okay. How do you feel about? And let me mute some of the. I think there was a lot of background noise. I don't know.
Oh, that's me. Hold on.
No, not you guys. I'm talking about from the video itself. I think there was background noise from the video itself.
Yo, look at that shot.
Yeah, it looks smooth.
So talk to me about
the release.
Yeah. Do you like where the release is from?
Absolutely.
It's at its high point. It's at the high point.
I'm just asking.
And Sim, if you see who's working with him, you see Bryant working with him. I mean, he worked with my man from Utah, Mitchell. I mean, he looks.
Hold on, Kev.
What? What is it, Nick? What is it?
Yeah, you got to put him in place.
He started all this since January or like late December.
I understand that.
Remember, he called up Drew Hanley because he was shooting 44% from the free throw line. Started working with Drew Hanley, and if you listen to Drew Hanley, he made him move the elbow out, block his vision. And it's the same thing he did with Jason Tatum, as what you said. He's been working with Drew Hanley. It's not specifically the Knicks that made this motion possible.
Yeah, I understand that. What I'm saying is, I understand it. I understand it. He's had since
that's a working hard
since
man.
March, to do that. But that's what I'm talking about development. What I'm saying is a player taking ownership on his on his game.
Yeah, because he's been a professional his whole life.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now, if we can move some of that, some of what that moxie that he has, and move it to, like, let's say Kevin Knox and some of these other
players. That ain't happening. That got to be in you, bro. It's either you have the moxie or you don't.
I disagree.
You can't put. You cannot. Listen. You cannot put swag on someone. You cannot. Because you can't walk the walk.
So you're saying, so Mark, what you're saying is the people that Leon Rose brung in for this coaching staff, they're not going to be able to get nothing out of this kid.
What they could do for Knox is develop his game in other ways.
Okay, hold on.
And make him more of him.
All right, well, let's finish talk about RJ Barrett. We'll get back to Knox.
Yeah,
Let's finish talking about RJ Barrett and how quickly we move off on the tangent. I tell you.
Listen, man,
but
it's Freestyle Tuesdays.
But listen, but looking at looking at his shot, I do think he could shoot more at its peak. I feel like the ball he's shooting from his forehead.
Well, right. When he shoot the camera too. Is it angle of the camera?
Okay, it could be the angle of the camera, but the thing with left-hand shooters,
you can't look at it as an angle because the shot look like it's in front of his face, because left-hand shooters shoot different from right-hand shooters. That's another thing that we have to take in.
How so? Because it's the same form, just on the opposite side. I mean, I've seen left-hand shooters that shoot with two hands, and you have to teach them how to shoot with the same form, but with the left hand, right? But it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same.
Like I said, the angle of the camera on a left-hand shooter just looks different from the angle with a right-hand shooter.
I don't know. I think that he could shoot more. I think he can shoot more
to me.
I don't know. I think he can shoot a little bit higher. Not higher. More at the pinnacle of his shot, right, at its peak. I think he can go up and shoot more at its peak. About him, the lift that he's getting off the floor at this point, what he's doing right now, I mean, he's just shooting jump shots. So I don't know.
James Harden don't get off the floor. He shoots like that.
Well, I mean, I think that if he's pulling up and shooting at your pinnacle at the peak, it's part of pulling up, because I think if you're shooting at your forehead, if you're shooting at your chest, it becomes a little bit more difficult to pull up with someone there because you're shooting with the ball in front of you. We'll see. I'm not gonna say anything. We're just gonna see how it works out when he gets into the game. That's all.
I think his threes are gonna come off like standstills or getting the ball and scoring someone with footwork. He's not gonna be like a Steph Curry type coming down and dribbling and then shooting in front of your face.
Well, I'm not even talking about just the three. I'm not talking about just the three. The same form that is used in front of the 3-point line is gonna be the same form that he's gonna use in the mid range and when he pulls up.
But
you know what I mean?
When it comes to the mid range with him, he's going to do a lot of bouncing off shooting like that. That's his game. He's going to do a lot of bouncing off shooting. He's not going to.
I agree with that.
He's not going to dribble in front of your face type
even still, if he's not dribbling in front of your face, I've seen him do some pull-ups in front of people with someone in front of you. It's going to happen. But even if you're coming off a screen and you're catching and shooting quick, right? You got to be able to get the ball up and let the ball be at its peak
he's going to square up his opponent more.
But listen, because having the ball at your peak allows you to see the rim and it allows you to hang a little bit more in the air, because you want to be up. You want to be up and have the ball up and be able to maybe hang a little bit before your feet touch the ground. You don't want to have to lift your knees up. You know what I'm saying? So if you got the ball low, you can't be. It just allows you to be up a little bit higher and have the ball up a little bit higher and avoid getting blocked. So we'll see. We'll see how it works when he gets into the game.
As long as his feet is in the right position, I'm fine with it, because it starts from the feet. Because
Well, I mean, it does. It starts from the feet, but having the ball in the right position, having the ball in the right position when you're shooting is essential. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and where
but
you're
the feet
shooting
is
from.
more important than anything.
You know,
your feet got to be squared up.
I mean, it does. Your shoulders got to be squared too, because you can jump off.
About that a lot.
You can jump off of any foot when you get in the air if you can square your shoulders. That's why Jamal Crawford is a really good bad shot shooter, because he can jump off of any foot, have any type of footwork going into his shot, but once he gets into the air, you'll see he squares his shoulders to the rim. That's really, really important. Obviously, RJ has his shoulders squared to the rim. I'm just talking about, where he's releasing the basketball.
Yeah, he's more like, because RJ's not like he's not like a Jamal Crawford, like a shooter. Like Jamal Crawford was a shooter.
I get that. When I talk about him being like Jamal Crawford, you brought up where his feet were. What I'm talking about is that the release of the shot is important. Nick, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
The question I have to ask is, like, his muscle development is a little bit stronger than a lot of people. So
very much so.
Just the amount of, like, I wonder if he's adjusting to just his own strength. Some people with a lot of muscle development, they struggle shooting because they have the stiffness. Like when you talk about the amount of lift, and I was looking at just where he was releasing from by his head, he has the arm strength to definitely get off a three. But then is it because of him releasing at the head because his arm is strong enough versus going all the way to the peak and then releasing? I'm just questioning that part.
Yeah. That's a good thought. That's a good thought.
So I guess we'll see how it works out when he plays. Because I always shoot, you get the ball all the way up here at your peak and let it go. My daughter used to shoot with the ball kind of like right there, and I'm like, you got the ball like right in front of your eyes. How can you see the rim? You know what I'm saying? And then, she had to move her head, so she could see the rim, and so we had to work on her getting up and then having this triangle in here where you can see underneath the ball, and then you can release it, and then it helped her when it came time to pulling up or catching the ball off the screens to be able to get up in the air. Everyone's got their style though. You've seen a lot of people who shoot the ball in front of them and are lethal shooters. So
like Steph Curry. If you watch Steph Curry progression from college to first year, his elevation went up. His elevation of his shot went up each year. So with him, it's just going to take time. But I just think go ahead.
The whole motion in Steph's shot, it's basically the same thing.
He's like his father. He's like his father.
Not necessarily, because if you look from when Steph went from college to like the pros, it was more from his hip. Like he was shooting from his hip. Each year he started to gradually shoot in the motion that he shoots now. Go look at it.
Yeah.
Go look at it.
Okay.
He's a
Davidson, right? He went to Davidson, or he went to Davidson, right? Okay.
And then when you look from his rookie year to his second year, his elevation was just going up. And and remember, he's a smaller player too. So with RJ being a bigger player, his shooting mechanics is going to be a lot different from Steph Curry's, from smaller players.
Hey, Mark, real quick. How long's Steph been in the league for?
Not like 11 years now. It's like his 11th year, right? Jeez. 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, 11th year. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. Well, we're gonna see it. We're gonna see how it works. We'll see how it works when he gets in NBA.
I just like the motion because if you look from last year, it's like he was not shooting with a hitch, but it was like almost like a push, at times. But right now, it's more fluent than, because when I seen it like an hour ago. I said, "Oh boy, this kid is just making me love him every day because he's working hard."
We will see. We've seen a lot of players in the offseason knocking down. They only recorded about 3 shots. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see.
The other thing when he gets in the game. The other thing, Sim, is we haven't really seen any of the any footage of if there's been any scrimmages, per se with this. That's what I really want to see. Because we talk about how we're going to see. I would like to see, what these scrimmages are like if they were having any, because it's supposed to be like a team,
Right.
thing.
Right. Well, here's the thing.
As long as the dude's capable of making shots.
Yeah. Here's the thing. In the game, it's just so much difference in the game between practice and even scrimmaging, right? Because now, and that doesn't mean you obviously you have to practice, because you gotta have a muscle memory, right? You gotta have a muscle memory, and then it becomes, can you, when you're in competition, can you handle? Can you still manage to to either give the same amount of strength or less strength or whatever you need to do in the heat of competition, right? Because your adrenaline kicks in, and so you naturally do things faster and stronger.
Let me ask you a question.
So then you got to figure out, can he control? Can he have the same accuracy during the heat of competition?
So you think it's mental then sometimes, because you talk about practice and then you talk about the games and everything. Like if he's hitting everything in practice, but then in the game, let's say he goes like 0 for 4 in his first 4 shots, you're gonna tell him to keep shooting, right?
Of course.
Well, it depends.
Not just him, but anybody.
No, you got to tell him to keep shooting good shots. Yeah.
Yeah,
good shots, right?
Yeah, if he's open, like I said, like what I love, what's going to come down with the Knicks and how they're going to run stuff. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of side wide open threes, and he's the type of player.
How do you know that?
Gets open, because that's how Tom Thibodeau run his offense. There's going to be a lot of side.
How do you know what he's going to run with? I mean, we don't know who's even going to be on the team. He's going to make that offense. He's going to make that offense to the team.
He said that he's going to look for corner threes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Well, good. He said he's going to. I mean, yes, RJ's going to be on the team, but what I'm saying is, if you don't know who's on the team, he's going to run the offense based on who's on the team. He's going to develop an offense. He already said that. He said when we do the playbook, we're going to look at who's on the team. We're going to start developing our playbook based on who's on this team.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, he's going to have the wide open. He's going to have the threes wide open for him. It happened every year. Every team he had plays with a side threes are always open. Threes are always open, bro. So that's
we'll see.
I know Tom
Well,
Thibodeau.
we'll see if it's RJ in that position.
Well, he's a wing player.
Sure.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be RJ in that position.
Sure.
Sam, this is basketball.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be RJ in that position. It could be someone else that gets those wing threes. We will see. But anyway, go ahead.
He could easily be the one to pass the ball to the guy to make the corner three. I mean, it just depends.
But if we get a point guard, he's going to play a lot of off the ball. Okay. This is a guy who you can run off the ball with. It's not some guy that needs the ball consistently to play his game. No. Because if you watch him Duke, they use him in so many ways. That's why I was okay with him. He has the IQ to handle the ball and pass the ball. But he's gonna play a lot of off ball, bro. This kid can play a lot of off ball. Just with the Knicks last year, you couldn't see that. So that's why I said that he's gonna be one of those guys gonna be primary in the corners, because his game is lacking shooting. So you wanna give him confidence, putting him in spots like that. It's just like that. And I would prefer him there a lot of the times.
Yeah, but going back to what Kevin was asking, and I do want to give a shout out to a couple of people. Armando Chico, thank you for becoming a member. And Clarence Robertson, thank you for becoming a member. But Kevin, if a player is missing shots, a player that I know can shoot, and they're shooting the shots that they normally take, they're shooting the shots that, in practice, we practice this player taking shots from that area, even if they're missing, still encourage them to shoot. You got to encourage them to shoot. Right? Because if they get, if you don't encourage them to continue shooting, then they lose confidence. If you're like, nah, don't shoot the ball anymore, then now they really have lost confidence. You got to encourage them to keep shooting and taking those open shots. And you got to encourage their teammates. To continue to support them. And even if they're missing the shots, make sure that their teammates continue to give them the ball, because that's when they, you know what I'm saying? That's when they build the confidence. Your confidence comes from you working, and if your teammates have confidence in you that you're finally gonna or eventually hit that shot, that's important. You know what I mean?
ain't gonna front stand.
So-
RJ, to me, when I watch him, I don't think he ever lose confidence throughout the game. Like,
it's not
that's one
about
kid.
it's. I would disagree. I think every player loses confidence from time to time. If you could be in a game, if you miss 10 shots in a row, you start to question like, damn, maybe I just don't have it this game. Maybe I need to do something else. You might come back the next game and have the same confidence, but everyone loses a little bit of confidence. You got to be out there. Everyone loses some confidence a little bit.
I would say this. You could miss 10 shots. You could miss 10 jump shots. But as long as you're still in the game, that is confidence to me, because that means you're on the court doing something else compared to just missing your shots. And I think that he's that type of player. That when he misses 10 shots, he keeps on going. Like he don't seem missing in the games to me when I watch him play compared to other players.
Listen, confidence doesn't mean that you overall your confidence is gone just overall. You might.
Yeah, I think this is.
You lose confidence in little pieces of this and that. Then you do the things that you got to do to get that confidence back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I just don't question him when he's on the court. I just feel like he's assertive enough. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say that I'm gonna agree with you with RJ, and you know why? When I lost confidence when I was shooting and playing basketball, I always wanted to see that ball go through the rim. So he just went in, just made a layup and stuff like that, and then try a three or stuff like that. Yeah, and I think RJ has the tools, and he just uses all. He's not going to be only a shooter, right? He's going to take mid-range, he's going to drive to the hole and stuff like that. So even he's not going to have the situation that he's going to be taking like 10 threes in a row. He's always going to have a three, a drive, or whatever, right? He's going to mix it up, right?
Again, so it comes with...
That's why he's not going to lose that confidence, because one of those, 3-4 shots is always going to go down. So
I think it's all how he's been raised and how he's been coached.
And like I said, this kid gets to the line too.
Yeah,
so it's
absolutely.
Just like, it's no denying this kid's greatness, where he wants to be, where he wants to go. I just don't question him one bit iota.
Nope, not at all.
All right, let's move on from RJ, because we're going to see what happens. Well, we don't know when we're going to see what happens, right? It's going to be...
They're talking about like after Martin Luther King's birthday. That's how much they're talking about it. It's crazy.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they opened up on ML King, Martin Luther King's Day.
Yeah.
That's normally the day... The time of the year, that's normally the day that the NBA kind of kicks off. Anyway, not really kicks off. Obviously, it's there from November. It starts off October to November, but around January, around that Martin Luther King Day time is when things start to really pick up and people really start paying attention.
Yeah, the year that we drafted Iman Shumpert, that was a strike year, right? And we didn't start till I think like the end of January or so, something like that.
No, that was before, I think.
That was before?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But so I was reading an article today, and it says that the Knicks interviewed Lamelo Ball.
I ain't thinking.
You said you're not thinking. You're not thinking what? You're not thinking.
No, because the thing about it was, I mean, we talked about this, I think, like last week when we were going through, who was our first, who would be our first pick. We didn't even have him in the in our choices.
We didn't because we were doing it. We didn't, and of course we said if he were to drop, obviously anybody else who was in our choice, you're gonna take him. So we didn't, but they interviewed him, I think, sometime before the lottery, right?
Yeah.
So somewhere, listen, they know he's not going any lower than 3.
Right.
The Knicks know that.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, they did it before the lottery, so maybe they thought they could possibly pop up. Maybe they were going to get lucky and get into that top 3. I don't know how much more conversation is going on now. Obviously, not much is getting out from the New York Knicks. Now they I think it was LeVar Ball. We know a long time ago he was like, oh, he would love to see. He thinks he would fit perfectly with the Knicks and this and that. Doesn't think he'll fit perfectly with the Warriors. If that interview would have came now, I think there would be more significance. Since that interview came earlier before the lottery, that's when you said, Andy, right before the lottery.
Yeah.
Since that interview came before the lottery, it probably doesn't mean a hill of beans. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean anything. If it would have happened 2 or 3 days ago, that to me would signify that they thought they could move up, or they were going to try to move up. Exactly. But given the fact that it happened before the lottery, I don't think it means much.
Yeah, LaMelo's trying to get himself to New York because he knows himself and he knows how big it would be to be here.
So what's he doing to try to get himself to New York? So what's he doing to try to get himself to New York?
Listen, he didn't mention no other team. Meaning, like I don't think he wants to play for the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves look like they weren't going to pick him number 1. And just a young cat like him that lives in LA and is more famous to a point. And then he knows playing in New York, he would have the guard spot right there and then to be in New York. He knows he's not stupid.
But what's he doing? What I'm saying, what are they doing?
Listen, I think he's trying to persuade teams to say, like, listen, I don't want to play for your team. That's why he constantly brings up the Knicks, because it's like, do you really want to bring a player here that don't want to be here, but he's talking about the other team? He's mentioning another team more than he's mentioning the first 3 teams, saying, I'll go wherever I get picked. Because most young guys said, I will go wherever I get picked. He didn't mention that. He just said, he talks about the Knicks. He comes out and talks about the Knicks. So those are one of the scares that he will put in teams, because it's like, if I'm a team, why would I want to drive someone if he's talking about the other team and not mention it? It doesn't matter where I go in the draft. That's what most young players say.
This article was not brought up by him. This is just someone who has information that the Knicks did an interview with LaMelo.
Okay.
But guys, did you see Killian Hayes interview he basically said, and he mentioned the name of the team. He said that it would be stupid to go to, not stupid. What was the word he used? It would be foolish to pick him to a team like the Cavs where they have 2 young promising guards.
Yeah, this kid's trying to position himself.
He said, I don't want to go to Cleveland.
He's trying to position himself
between the lines with that. So.
Yeah, and just like a young, talented person that LaMelo is, and the star factor he got, just as a person, if there's an open roster for the New York Knicks in that market, and he's dreaming what I could be there, you're gonna want to choose that before you choose, and your stock is that high. So it's like I want to be there.
Yeah,
because he get picked anyway.
Mark, as far as I see it, if we would be picking like the 4th or the 5th, I think that could happen. But we're picking 8. That's going to be a couple of $1 million year 1 and year 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I know where we're picking at. It's kind of messed it up for us, but still, I think he would put himself in it, because when he arrives here, he's going to get paid. He's going to sign deals. He's going to sign big deals before he even touched the New York mat. So when it comes to his salary in the NBA, it wouldn't compare to what he's going to make off the floor. So I don't think that's a big problem for him.
That's true.
I think he want to position himself with the New York Knicks because there's a starting spot. It fits his star power, and he might be looking at the coach and just looking at how you can help the team and bring it back. You never know. These young
honestly,
guys
I don't think there's much. I don't know if that really works in the NBA like that anymore.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, who's the last player that really positioned himself and said, "I'm not going to this team or that team. I want to go here."
I would have to go back in drafts to look back at that, because recently it felt like that, but I can't say.
I can't even think of. Steph Curry at one. He wanted to be in New York. Did not want to go to Golden State. He wanted to be in New York, and Golden State picked him anyway.
Eli Manning. I forgot that.
No, hold on. He didn't mention it. Wait, he didn't mention it. He didn't mention it in the media. He mentioned it after he was picked years after.
Bro. If you go back then, it was knowledge that he wanted to be in New York. It was common knowledge that he wanted to go to the Knicks and didn't want to go. I don't even think he worked out for the Warriors. He didn't even work out for them because he didn't want to go there.
Sam, was it more that because we had D'Antoni and what Stephen Curry would be with D'Antoni? Because that could have been more of the talk than him actually saying that he wanted to be in New York or saying it to people. I think it was more the New York media saying it because we had D'Antoni and we wanted Steph Curry.
No,
the Knicks wanted Steph Curry.
He wanted to be in New York. It was very, very clear. You can go back and he did an interview just recently. It was clear. He didn't work out for Golden State because he didn't want to go there. Golden State drafted him anyway. They said we are gonna take our chances.
Okay, like I said,
I don't think that works anymore.
If Lamelo could do whatever he could do to not get picked to 8, then listen, I'm cool with it. But I think he's gonna get picked way before that, man. But it's just a dream. It's just a dream, man. But it is what it is.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get picked. He's but ain't no doubt about it.
Hey, I'm just angry that we picked Jordan Hill in that draft.
I'm just saying these young kids are like Killian Hayes. These guys are gonna try to position themselves to be. To come in a spot where they could play in the development, and I think LaMelo is looking more bigger picture just because who he is, and I think he can handle the limelight. I think he can handle that.
Yeah.
Hey, think about this, guys. Someone on Twitter made this assumption that because we have Leon Rose, who was an agent, that he would try and work to try and find a way to get LaMelo here. I mean, I didn't believe it, but when you think about it, it's like, what is he going to give up, in order to get him, here?
Well, the way where people, the way the lottery's been, picked out, the only team that we will be able to trade with is Golden State to go get him that early.
Right.
So
right. That's what I'm saying.
And then in the Knicks, if you're going to trade with Golden State's going to try to rob us. It's no doubt about it, man.
Yes. There's something. Yeah. I agree, Mark. You cannot trick teams like that. You cannot.
Yes, you cannot. I don't think it's not about tricking. It's about them guys coming up with a fair deal. Leon Rose, listen. It's a different regime. We don't know how they are going to deal when it comes to trades and stuff like that. We don't know what they're going to do yet. We don't know. Everyone looks at the Knicks it's just the Knicks, so they're going to get robbed. But there's different people there. Guess
what? When they went for Wiggins, right? Timberwolves said no to the 2021 pick. What happened? They end up doing it. They didn't want to do it. Golden State end up forcing them to do it. Listen. But here's the thing. First, let me just. It's like negotiations are a little bit. You go into a negotiation like this. I say Andy's on my team, right? Yeah. And Mark's not. Mark, I'm trying to get I'm trying to get a player from you, whatever, right? Yeah. And I say to Andy, listen, I am willing to give up Andrew Wiggins, the 2021 first round pick, this and that. I'm willing to do that. But when I go to you, I say Andrew Wiggins and this year's second round pick. That's what I say to you. Hold on, wait a minute. Yeah. That's what I say to you. Although I know I'm willing to give up all that other stuff, I say to you, Andrew Wiggins and this year's second round pick. So we negotiate. So when it sounds like, then when it looks like, Mark was able to pull out the 2021 first round pick. Not really. I already planned to do that. Yeah, but check this. This is the chicken armor. They know that the Knicks would love to move up to get LaMelo, right?
Yeah,
right?
And I got bad news for Kevin. I got bad news for Kevin.
And just like,
I know where you're going. I know exactly where you're going. I know exactly where you're going.
Just like the Timberwolves, they wanted D'Angelo. Exactly. So they used the weakness against the Timberwolves, just like they would do with the Knicks, because they know they want the point guard. Golden State knows that, listen, if I'm going to trade up, we know the Knicks want a point guard, and LaMelo will be servicing round 1 or 2 or 3.
I get it.
That's when Golden State said, listen, I'm going to take Wiggins. Well, you gonna give me that 2021 pick? They strong. Oh, they duffed them.
But what I'm saying is, you don't know if Minnesota already had it in their mind that they're willing to give up that 2021 pick, bro.
No,
Sam, what you're saying is that they could have.
Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
In the negotiation, they did not want to give it up. They was holding it.
What I'm saying to you, Mark. What I'm saying to you is that might be what you hear in the public, but behind closed doors, they know that they have a limit, right? They say, it may not be with everyone. It may not be with everyone. Like I go to a store and I say, I'm willing. In my mind, I know I'm willing to spend this much money. I try to get it cheaper, right? But then, it gets up to gets up to I'm willing to spend $1,000, and I'd say no, I'm only willing. I tell the person I want to buy it from, I'm only willing to spend $700. We negotiate up to $850, $875. It may look like they brought me up, but my cap was something. You just never know. You just never know. You're only gonna get what's in the news.
Yeah, but Sam, at the end of the day, what Golden State did to the Timberwolves, they got a steal, because I still think putting Andrew Wiggins playing with Golden State, he has tremendous talent. And that 21 pick, that is the most valuable asset that they're going to have.
I hear you.
Because Timberwolves is I think they're not going to be a playoff team, because this overhyping this D'Angelo Russell guy, the way that people did, I don't think he's going to be that good for them to be a playoff team. Right. So when Golden State did that, they won that whole trade.
Okay. Well, Zokaz said that the 2021 Wolves pick is top 3 protected.
Yeah. But Sin, they're going to be
it might be the 5th pick.
Yeah, right. That'd be bad.
No, you're right, but still, it's a lottery pick at the end of the day.
No, I get it. Still a lottery pick. I get it.
And the way this lottery goes, we go from 6 to 8, right? We don't know. They could go. Anything can happen. Well,
we actually had a higher percentage of getting 8 than 6, so it was almost no chance we were getting 6. But anyway,
come on, man.
Kev, just bad news for you, man. If the Knicks do, you already know. If the Knicks trade up for Lamelo, I hate to say it, but I think Mitch is going to go to Golden State. He's going to be a player that they want, I think. If they trade up for LaMelo, if they trade up for LaMelo, I think Mitch will be going to Golden State.
And if that happened, then Kenny Wooten will be part of the rotation. No, I would hate to lose Mitch, but I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm softening up to the idea.
You gotta soften up. It ain't just like how I softened up.
You know why? Because
you gotta man up.
But listen, KP. Listen, KP.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
The thing that I've learned is that these, especially with the new regime, is that they have no.
We can't trust them.
I won't say loyalty, but I will say, well, they're not loyal to to those players because they hardly even know these players. So,
right.
And then after what I've seen, I know it's off subject, but after seeing what happened to Doc Rivers, I don't think anybody's safe at all. We'll probably get to that later.
We're gonna talk about that later. We're gonna talk about that later.
But the point is that there's no loyalty. There's no just that it. There's no loyalty whatsoever.
Honest to God, Sim, I kind of like this unpredictableness, randomness with this Knicks organization. It riles me up because, listen, we don't know what their moves are, so it's keeping us on the Empire State Builder on the edge. So we can't. We're just all over the place with this organization. I kind of like that.
Okay.
I kind of like the uncertainty.
Right. I think what it is also, just real quick, Sim, I think what it is that this regime looks like they have some sort of a plan that we see their vision a little bit. They're giving us glimpses of what they want to do, and nothing of what we used to, for the past couple of years with Steve Mills and everything.
I'm telling you,
and once again, I am not Steve Mills, so there you go. So
yeah.
So that didn't happen.
Here we go.
Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
No, not Nick. That was Josh.
Nah, Nick,
Josh
I thought Nick was. I thought Nick was getting ready to say something.
I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
I was.
It's a little hard to hear you.
Are you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Kev. I want to make sure I give hope because I listened to the Golden State podcast, and they talk about what their goals were, and their plan is to restock on wings.
Facts.
This coming summer.
Restock on wings, okay.
When it comes to the Knicks, I keep saying this: the sign and trade market is something that you have to look at. We had more Harkless. We could offer him money first. That's the starting point. If Mo Harkless and someone else, and we could also sign and trade like Davis Bertans.
Three-way trades too, Nick. We got to think about that too.
Kinds of stuff, 3 ways, because we have cap space. We could use our cap space.
Yes, we should have did that with the Iguodala.
Hold up, Mark.
Right? We could add up a lot of stuff and give them wings. Like, let's say we sign and trade Brandon Ingram and Mo Harkless and give them to Golden State plus the 8th pick and another pick or something like that. We may not have to give up the 2021 or Mitch. But at the same time, it just depends on what Golden State deems the best. Because Mo Harkless is a good wing and a good defensive wing.
Yeah.
He may not be Iguodala good. But we may be able to do, say, like Brandon Ingram, like make a real aggressive move at Brandon Ingram and sign and trade him. But that, I'm just saying, like that.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you, Nick. I agree with you.
Yeah, because if I get Brandon Ingram, if I get his signature in ink on paper with a New York Knicks letterhead, he's playing in the New York Knicks uniform. That's true.
Sam, let me ask you a question about
I can roll with that.
Let me ask you about Ingram. Like, if we were supposed to do Ingram, would that even be good for RJ, for the type of player he is? Because Ingram is he is solely a ball. He's ball dominant.
The question is this, because we talked about Ingram a long time ago. And people brought that up. The question is, 2 things I got. One, is RJ clearly and definitely like the guy?
Yes.
Right? No. Like the guy that is going to carry your franchise and be the number 1 guy, transform your franchise for the next 10 years.
I think he is. I think
so you got that one question, and then what is wrong? I mean, you got Paul George, you got Kawhi together, right?
But that's totally different. Man.
You had LeBron and you had Dwayne Wade together.
But that's a different combination of players playing together.
Sam,
because with Ingram, I don't believe he's your number 1 guy. Like me, watching him, I don't think he's going to transform your whole team in a whole where people's going to follow him. He's not like Jason Tatum, like a player like that. He's not a player like that. I think Ingram is more of a number 2 who he could play behind someone a little better than him. I think Ingram is a good player. I think this year will show me more. If he can take that team to the next level, that will show me that he's ascended. I just think he's a really good player.
But Mark,
that's coming into his own. But I don't think he's a franchise-changing player.
But no. you don't think him and Zion? Yeah, you don't think him and Zion can be that 1-2 punch?
I'm gonna tell you why Zion. I'm gonna tell you why Zion is good for him, because Zion can play off the ball. His impact comes off the ball. He can score, but his impact is a lot off the ball. So you can pair those 2 together. RJ still needs to rep with the ball in his hand. He needs that. But like I said, RJ plays like a number 1. He has an attitude with number 1. We still have to see if he can extend. It's only his first year. But with Ingram paying him 100,
I don't know, bro.
I wouldn't pay him 180 yet.
I disagree with Brandon Ingram.
Why do you disagree, Sam? Why do you disagree?
I don't think he's
the boy. He's just nice. The boy is just nice. He is just nice. He shot 46. Hold on. He shot 46% from the field. He shot 39% from three. He shoots free throws at 85%. He averaged 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. He is just nice.
Okay.
And he's a 6'7" small forward.
Yeah.
He's small, and we know he's got the issues, he's got, whatever issues, blood clot issues and stuff like that. He's gotten better every single year of his career.
Yeah.
He's 22. He is 22 years old. 22. Come on, man.
No.
Come on, bro. He's 22.
Let Josh talk. Let Josh talk real quick. Let Josh talk.
Out of that entire Laker young core, all those pieces that they traded for Anthony Davis, Ingram was the best one by far.
We all
And they wanted, but like if he would have been on the Lakers, if they found some way to keep him and got rid of Kuzma, the Lakers would have been the favorite over the Clippers, 100%.
Okay.
Because that dude is a scorer. He is a scorer, and he is the real deal. You can just look at it and tell, like the eye test. You can just tell.
So when I watch him play, right? He translates very, very well to the NBA, right? But it's sometimes it's like when he gets the ball, he just looks to score. Like if I'm going to pay my guy,
that's not true, bro. He averaged 4 points. He averaged from a small forward. He averaged 4.2 assists per game. We talk about you need shooters around RJ, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He shoots 39% from three.
Yeah, and I would say this, Sim, but I think that he would be a better complement to him than Randall would.
He's more of a put it on the floor type of a shooter when he gets the ball, Sim. He's not a guy that you fling the ball to and he's going to put it up.
It's not true, bro. He can do it. It's not true, man.
The game that I saw against us, I mean, that was,
He can do both, man.
Yeah.
He can do both.
I don't think I would give him $180 million. Not me.
Wait, 100 and what now?
He's looking for 180. This deal's going to be counting for 180.
He's going to get the max. He's going to get the max.
So, Sam, are you willing to give him that money?
Yes.
I don't think he's translated.
What about you, Nick? Gosh, okay.
I am willing to give Brandon Ingram that money. I think Brandon Ingram is.
Would that clean us out? Would that clean us out?
Yeah, he's gonna get paid towards $35 million per year.
If we extend the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you waive the other guys, I don't know what the first year salary would be. Let's say it's $30 million the first year salary. If it's $30 million, then you still got about $10 million to play with.
Because that's putting all of our eggs in that basket right there for him.
Yeah, listen. I mean, he's been in the league 4 years. He's 22 years old.
I'm not denying his talent.
I mean,
but he has to show me one more level. He has to show me one more level of ascension before I give him that.
And another thing is
stuff like that when it's early.
Exactly.
You don't jump in late.
No, Nick, you're right. Hold on, you're right, Nick. But then again, when you give someone like that, right? His game is very tremendous. But is it impacting the game? That's all. I want to see him. His game is there.
It impacted us.
But listen.
Us.
The New Orleans Pelicans, without Zion, they remained with Ingram. They remained in playoff contention.
Yeah,
they were right there. So that's the reason why they end up going to the bubble, right? I mean, obviously they wanted Zion there, but they were there. They were within.
But Sam, they got creamed in the bubble.
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is, without Zion and Brandon Ingram being there, he kept them. His contributions helped them stay relevant, so that they can go to the bubble.
Too, right?
Obviously, I didn't forget about Drew Holiday. That's not the point. Any team is going to have multiple players that contribute, Mark. The point is, he was a.
I understand, but he has to show me one more level. It's one more level that he got to go to before.
This is the thing. Your one more level means that he signs a 5-year contract with another team.
Yeah.
Right. And then by the time he's ready to come to the Knicks, now he's 28. And now you're getting them. Now you're getting them at the same point. Hold up. Now you're getting them at the same point that you got Melo, right? At 28 years old, and now. Right, he was in his prime, but then how fast did he come down from his prime? Now you're it's like you got him at 28 years old. Hold up. You got him at 28 years old, and you got we got to get time around him because he got about 5 years left for him to be to get it. If you get a player like this at 22, not that you don't try to win, but you have more time to build.
No, hey, Sim, but I have to ask this. What about the issue with his blood clots? Is that all cleared up, or what's the issue with that?
He was healthy last year. He played 62 games.
Okay, all right. So now the next question. The next question is, would New Orleans really?
No,
would give him up?
Nowhere.
No, they're gonna match anything. They're gonna match everything.
Right? Okay.
I guarantee. The only way.
They have to.
The only way is if he says, I really want to go to so-and-so. Like, he's going to go out and try free agency, right? And then he says, I really want to go to so-and-so team. I don't want to come back to New Orleans. I want to go here. Then what'll happen is they'll execute a sign and trade. So let's say he wanted to sign. Let's say he wanted to sign with the Knicks, right? The Knicks signed him to an offer sheet. New Orleans will have a chance to match it because he's a restricted free agent. But he says to New Orleans, I really want to go to the Knicks. I don't want to be here.
Bro.
And then they still can match it. Even if he says, I don't want to be here, they can still match it. They can say, well, we're going to match it anyway. Right?
You know what to say?
Maybe he'll pull a Jeremy Lin, how we matched it, and then he went back.
I mean, right? But I think that would be the way. He would have to really want to go to that team, and then New Orleans would.
You remember that, Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yo, Sim, you're kind of right. You're kind of right. He is 22 years old, and I'm just thinking, I would because we were having for more years. So I wasn't thinking like that, but I just wanted to see one more level of
you're not gonna get that. You're not gonna get that.
I know,
go ahead, Andy.
I know.
I was saying that, it doesn't have to be, Ingram wanting out. It might be like Zion telling, the owners, okay, I don't want to play with this guy. Or he's going to, stop my development. I want to be the only star here.
That's true.
Yeah. But you know what's so crazy to me, Sim? For Ingram to be that good, right? And for him to be that good and Zion, like they talk about, honestly, it was not like as much as they try to talk about Brandon Ingram, it was just completely Zion. He has to feel some type of way because if I'm that guy that's going out there putting buckets and you have a guy that barely played 19 games coming in like that, I would feel some way because I would not feel valued. That just a human, you won't feel valued. So listen, man,
so if he feels some kind of way like that, he comes to us. We already know that RJ, is pretty much the man. No, well, maybe he'll come with that. All right, Nick. All right, I'm just giving out.
Nick, let me tell you something.
I'm bored.
No. Nick is Kevin's kind of right because if we did get Ingram, RJ still would be the baby for us. That's just how it is. As good as he is, because it was just like with KD. KD was the best player on the team, but they love some Steph Curry, bro. It's all about who you draft first and who plays for you first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how it works.
This is where I kick back against all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram has the talent and could put up the numbers enough to get us to the playoffs. And that's my belief. Okay?
I agree.
If we put shooters and the right kind of team around him, and then also RJ is a contribution to that, it'll be more like, like
Jaylen Brown Tatum.
Put someone in to help RJ that actually propels RJ to another level, because Brandon Ingram will take so much pressure and allow.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Hold up, Mark.
Needs to be so. Like, you can't just sit here and say that RJ will always be the darling. Brandon Ingram will be part of being a darling too, because he's getting us to a place we hadn't been in years.
You're right. You're right. No, you're right.
Go crazy for one win. 2 wins, you go bananas. Three, they go berserk. And if you get into the playoffs, like Brandon Ingram will be praised. Like they might shoot freaking.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, what were you gonna say?
We went 3 in a row.
Josh, what were you gonna say?
Yo, Knicks fit. Yo,
hold on, let Josh.
Hold up, Mark.
Hey, so the question was asked earlier: can Ingram and RK be able to coexist? And I think absolutely, because I really don't feel like RK can be the alpha, like the number one on a winning type of team, because he would have showed it last year. You know what I'm saying? People were saying that Julius.
He's a rookie, though. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's gonna take us some time to grow.
Stop it.
You know.
Stop it, bro.
Josh, man. Damn.
Hold on, let him finish.
At a point, man.
No.
When Jason Tatum was a rookie, Jason Tatum was the man on his team. So it's not about just being a rookie. What I'm saying is, like, you can tell off the bat, like when somebody gets drafted, whether they come in as a rookie or not, and that impact that they make. You guys were saying that the reason why RJ didn't go off was because Julius Randle was stopping him from getting the ball, but we already proved that that's not true.
No, it is true.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's true. We saw the games. I mean, it is true.
I mean, look. Jimmy Butler didn't come right off, and he was the man on the team. You know what I'm saying? It takes development. You know what I'm saying? Neither Brandon Ingram didn't come right off, and he was the man.
Exactly.
Sam, he wasn't even considered that type of player, even coming into the draft like Tatum was. It's totally different when you're getting drafted like that, bro.
All right. Well, you know what? I think the Knicks should go ahead. It's a long shot, but go ahead and throw the money at him.
I co-sign on it. Yeah, I co-sign on it.
Go ahead and throw the money at him.
I co-sign it. I will co-sign it because you know what I think about? I think about 2021. And it's like we might not have no chances at any of those free agents, so we might as well take a whiff on that young snapper. I'm not mad at it. Yeah. But 180, I would just say, I'll do it. It's just like
I wouldn't even say, I'm throwing on the max. I wouldn't even say, I'm throwing on the max. Shoot.
You know what it is? You know what it is? I was just waiting for one or more 2 years because I was just thinking because remember Donovan Mitchell's still out there. And I would prefer him more than Ingram, personally.
But see, the thing is,
Donovan Mitchell's not out there.
Acting like we have time. Like we gotta start winning to some degree because
of course,
I agree. One day be a free agent.
Yes, I
agree. Exactly.
You gotta make the team good enough that these guys want to stay here too.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you have to, going after Brandon Ingram shows RJ, hey, look, I'm trying to get you talent right now.
Yeah, facts. Facts. Yep. He know he don't got no talent on this team. I'll tell you that.
And look, Mark, you're not waiting for Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was about to sign an extension with Utah.
Exactly.
Well,
you're not waiting for Donovan Mitchell, bro.
Well, let's just see. I'm just still hoping. Let's just see.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't hold my breath if I was you. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll die.
Yo, Sim,
sometimes, Mark.
I'm a Knicks fan. I'm sick in the head.
Sometimes you have to make your own magic. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to make your own magic.
All right. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Killian Hayes said that he thinks it would be dope to play with Frank. Would you like to put those two guys together?
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
You already know I'm a Killian fan. You already know. You already know.
Josh,
I think if you get Killian Hayes, then Frank has to go. I think
Why?
Well, first of all, Frank, you guys want Frank to be our point guard, right? You want him to be the point guard.
I've been on record saying for him to be the backup. I've been on record on that this whole time.
Yeah, but he's coming up on the time where he needs to get paid, and we drafted him high. Not just to be a backup. We drafted him to be the point guard of the team.
Sometimes you are what you are. So if he's going to be a backup and if he wants, listen,
you should have been
right. I agree, Mark. I agree, Mark. If he wants to,
I'm not going to continue to harp on this team
and get that money, he's going to have to be our sixth man coming off the bench. I'm sorry.
Listen, when he got drafted, he was not the Kyrie. He's not that type of a point guard.
No.
How do y'all looking at him like that?
Exactly.
He is a playmaking guard.
He's just a piece. He's just a piece. He's just a piece.
Go ahead. Finish, Josh. One at a time, guys. We got to go one at a time.
Sorry.
No, I can just feel like you know you're getting a duplicate kind of player, like Killian Hayes and Frank Ntilikina, the same kind of player. Like you might as well see what you can get for Frank if you're gonna grab Killian Hayes.
Oh no,
you might as well.
Even Andy's looking at that crazy.
No, because
hell no.
Pull the plug in, Josh. Pull the plug.
Listen. As long as I've been on this show,
Even both of them, though. I don't understand the point.
Killian is not Frank Ntilikina. I'm sorry.
No,
he's gonna be better than Ntilikina. He's gonna be better.
No. What I'm saying is, what was the point of getting Frank if you're gonna get Killian Hayes? That's my point. Like, what's the
because Frank can play. Frank can play defense at a high level.
Yes.
If you put him in the right spot, he can play. He has an IQ to make plays off the ball. When you want a guard like that,
I'm not saying they're the same kind of player as far as skill set. What I'm saying is there's no like if you have Killian Hayes, there's no role. Like I don't feel like there's a significant role for Frank on the team. But like if you're gonna bring in Killian Hayes to be the point guard, I don't see any role for Frank.
Is there a significant role? Is it?
So hold on. So Josh, here's where I really disagree with you, right?
Thank you.
Because Frank is like a Swiss Army knife. You can put him at the 1, the 2, the 3. You can put him on. You know, you need a guy that hopefully one day is going to be able to guard. You know, you say, all right, you know, we don't want RJ to play defense on Brandon Ingram. We're gonna put Frank on Brandon Ingram because we don't want to get RJ in foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like he's that kind of guy. You know, that's what he is. He's just, you know, you move him all around the field and put him in different spots and different positions. You need players like that. You know what I'm saying? While you can say, okay, Killian Hayes is gonna be. You know, if you drafted him and you think he's going to be a future point guard, he's going to be our point guard.
He is a point guard, though.
While you're going to move right, and while you're going to move Frank around in different spots and different positions around the court.
Frank is coming up on getting paid. How much are you guys going to pay Frank?
$8 plus.
Yeah,
$8 million. Yeah. Like I mean, I think Frank will probably stay at what he's getting paid now.
Exactly.
And he's gonna be happy with that.
He's gonna be happy with exactly.
Sim, I think he wants to be here more than he wants to leave. Like I keep telling y'all people about European people. They love New York. You cannot come from Europe and then and play for the Knicks or be in New York and want to get no. He wants to be here, bro. He really wants to be here.
Exactly.
Porzingis wanted to leave.
Huh?
Porzingis wanted to leave. He's European.
My Josh don't do
that.
He did not.
Man.
Oh boy.
You see, I don't even bring
my head.
Continue with the story of him wanting to leave. No, you had an idiot that was in here that gave him away.
Well, I do believe he wanted to get out of New York, and I don't blame him for wanting to get out of New York.
Yeah, because he felt like he was getting traded. He felt like he was getting
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's all right.
I don't believe Porzingis.
No, the notion that he said, "Yo, get me out of New York." No, he found out he was getting traded. Then he said he went out. Of course you're gonna do that. Just like a boss is gonna tell you you're getting fired. Then fire me. Then I'm out of here.
Okay,
I don't know.
I don't know, Mark. I think he wanted, but still, you know.
I don't know.
If he wanted to be here, he would have said something.
Like he told y'all, stay woke. And look what happened.
Listen,
I'm gonna take that from Porzingis. Stay woke. I'm gonna take that from Porzingis.
Exactly. He can't even stay healthy. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
One more question.
He's more talented than anybody on this team.
Let me get to a phone call. Caller, you live. What's popping?
Hey, what's going on, yo?
What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm just listening to, like, you know, everybody just going back and forth. There's a few things I actually want to, kind of address. So first off, I think Josh is kind of wilding with the Killian Hayes slander. Definitely not RJ Barrett slander. I don't know where that's coming from, but I feel that with Killian Hayes and Frank Ntilikina, that would actually be a pretty good backcourt for reasons that y'all both brought up. Frank Ntilikina, the only thing he needs to do is really just be a respectable three-point shooter. It seems like he's working on his handle. You don't even need that much from him. You know, if he could just get double-digit scoring, maybe 6 assists, 6 rebounds, that's great. Like, that's all you really need from him. He's just there just to terrorize the opposing team's opponent player. You know, that's what he's there for. If you can get a Killian Hayes And if you develop him, it seems like we're buying stock into our developing our developing program. You know, we just brought Johnny Bryant, we just brought Ken Payne. You know, it seems like they're actually buying some stock into that. So if you can develop him, he gets his right hand correct, then you might actually have a rich man's D'Angelo Russell. You know, so if you have a backcourt with him and D'Angelo Russell, or him and Frank Ntilikina, that they moved RJ Barrett to the 3, which a lot of people may argue that's his more natural position. Me, I feel like he's good at the 2 because I like the fact that he can bully the smaller 2 guards, but that's a different discussion.
Okay.
That's a set backcourt. That's legit. You have your scoring. You have somebody who is a dog on defense, who hopefully he can be an All NBA defender. I definitely feel like he has that tools. And the only thing you really have to do is just see, okay, so what am I going to do to what am I going to do with the stretch forward slide? There's a lot of draft picks that are coming out. There's a lot of bigs coming out next year that are really mobile, and they really are. They're really could really stretch out floor for us. Back to the Ingram thing. If we have a chance to get Ingram, and you do not have to trade for him, you just go for it. You just throw whatever money that you need to. Ingram is a A1 scorer. He is a potential franchise player. Ingram could quite possibly be better than RJ. So if you have a chance to pry Ingram away from the Pelicans, you go for it. As long as you're not trading, as long as you're not giving up pieces, cool, go for it. That is a huge win for us if we could get Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram, that's a nightmare.
I definitely agree with you, man. I agree with you, definitely. Hey, I appreciate your call, bro.
No problem, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Be peaceful.
Yeah, that was a good call. Good call. Good call.
And one more question I want to ask you guys. Looking at, and this is both for the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau, right? Looking at things right now, especially with this whole thing, Doc Rivers just got fired from the Clippers. Do you think Tom Thibodeau is looking like, wow, I could have been coaching the Clippers right now? Or do you think the Knicks are looking and saying, we could have had Doc Rivers? You think either guy is looking at, either party is looking and saying, maybe I should have been more patient, or because of the relationship between Leon Rose and Tom Thibodeau, that they're just like, this is it. I'm cool with this. I like this.
Yeah, I'm going with B. What you say? Yeah, I'm going with
the latter. Yep.
I think that dude wanted to be in New York because I think he likes challenges. I think he wanted to be here. Because if that was the case, he could have just waited for He could have just waited out. He wants to be in New York. He dreamt this, bro. He dreamt this. And honestly, I know as bad as the Knicks are, but at the end of the day, if I had a chance to coach the New York Knicks and to be in New York, there's no way I'm choosing New York all the way, bro. It's just different, man. It's just different. You gotta have the tolerance as a person to try to change it and challenge yourself. That's it. And Tom Thibodeau, the way how he carries himself, he likes challenge, and that's why he took it upon. And he has the room, he has the front office confidence for him to do that job here. So New York all the way, man. I think he wanted to be here, bro. There's no doubt about it.
And it's also one of the highest paying leagues.
There's no doubt about it.
And all he has to do is coach now. He doesn't have to manage it. No. All he has to do is coach.
He don't have to worry about getting fired. No, nothing, because this is going to take time for us unless we do something really major and to put us in a position. But Doc Rivers, he kind of deserved to get fired, because you watch that Clippers Denver series. That dude did not adjust. He kept doubling Jokic every single game.
I told you, Sam.
Every single game. But
he deserved to get fired. He deserved to get fired.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. He was working with a whole new staff, pretty much. So you're gonna get, he had 2 All-Stars come in. I think you should have given him at least 1 more year. I mean, if they gave D'Antoni, I mean, like, I don't know how many years was D'Antoni with Houston.
But we know what D'Antoni is. It's different from Doc Rivers.
We know what
the difference is. No, I got it. The difference is that D'Antoni wasn't expected to win the championship right away in Houston. The Clippers were the championship favorite. You were up 3-1. You deserve to get fired. If you can't make the foolish thing and lose that series. You can't lose that series.
I disagree. I disagree. For number one, I don't believe that they were the champion. I don't know if they would have. I didn't go look and see. Maybe they were the favorites. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this from the beginning of this season.
Right.
From the beginning. Before they ever touched a basketball, Doc Rivers came out and said, first thing we got to do is develop some chemistry with this team. That's what it is that we have to do. And he talked about it from the time that they signed or got traded.
Yeah.
Since forever. Right? That's what he talked about.
But Sim, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Sim, let me ask you a question. Where I agree with you, the problem that I'm having is that a lot of the veterans, like a George and
Kawhi.
What's the name? Kawhi, they weren't they were unavailable a lot this season.
Yeah, that's right.
So I gotta pin that a little bit on Doc as well.
You know what it is, Sam?
Yeah.
If you watch the last game, the way they went out as an owner and just watching that, it's like you're like in a different realm for something to happen because the way they went out, it was despicable.
It was.
Sam is they completely just gave up and gave out on that. That was pathetic. No one had Denver. Sam, and you know what the thing is? They was up by 20 points in the last 3 games and they lost the leads. They lost the lead.
I know. We know. We saw that. But
you cannot go out like that.
Everything you said would make sense if they weren't up 3-1. You said they needed to develop chemistry. They were up 3-1.
Hold on. Time out, Josh. Hold up, Josh. I didn't say they needed to develop chemistry. I said this is what Doc Rivers said way before the season. Hold up. Way before the season ever started. Right?
Yeah,
and I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Right? Yeah. Yes, they were up 3-1 and they should have won. But when your back is finally up against the wall, that chemistry that you have with your team means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you either know what you want to do or you are still figuring out what you want to do. And when your back goes up against the wall, hold up. Listen. When your back goes up against the wall, you don't know how to come out fighting when you don't have the team camaraderie. You don't know what to do. You don't know who's supposed to get the ball. You don't know who's supposed to go where because it takes that team camaraderie for it to come and happen naturally. My point is that I feel it was more the players than it was Doc Rivers. That's my point. I'm not saying anything about that they shouldn't have won it. Yes, they should have won. I get that. I understand that. I still think it was more the players than Doc Rivers.
So you mentioned their backs being up against the wall, though. That's what I'm saying. They were up 3-1. All the pressure was off of them. All they had to do was just close out the series.
Bro, you're not understanding what I'm saying. You got to listen. When you're in a game, in a single game, you can get your back up against the wall just for that game. If you're down 4 points with 2 minutes left in the game, listen, when you're down 4 points with 2 minutes left in the game, your back is up against the wall for that particular game. A series comes down to individual games, right? So in that individual game, you're up 4, or you're down 4 because you blew the lead. Now you're like, oh, snap. What do we do? Right? Because now the pressure is there. Yeah, when you have chemistry, you can play from ahead real easy. But when you don't, like when you look at the Nuggets, when the shit hit the fan, they knew exactly who they were going to and what they were going to do to try to get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Sam,
I'm not giving an excuse for the Clippers. I'm not giving an excuse for them. What I'm saying is, I don't believe it was Doc Rivers. I believe it was more the players than Doc Rivers.
I would say this a little bit go to Doc Rivers, because if you watch the last 3 games that Denver won, right? Jokic was on a spree of doing the same plays over and over. There was no adjustment to Jokic. Jokic was basically laughing throughout the whole series, bro. Like, literally,
bro, they were up. They were up.
Come in.
In closeout games, they were up almost 20 points in closeout games. What more is Doc Rivers going to do?
So this when the other team is coming back, right? When the other team is coming back, right? When a team is specifically going to an offense where they run it over and over and over and over again, and then Doc Rivers goes to the same defense of doubling Jokic, something has to change. You cannot keep doubling Jokic, because if they're running that same play for Jokic and he sees the double every time, he's going to make the same play over and over and over and over. And that's where your coach must have eyes for the players at times. Say, yo, listen, we're going to start doubling Jokic to go one-on-one, because they that good to go one-on-one defense instead of doubling Jokic. And that's what happened those 3 last games. They did not adjust, and that's what happened. It was horrible to watch.
I disagree. I disagree. I put it on the players. I put it on the players. They were up 3-1. They were up double digits in multiple closeout games. You know what I'm saying? And they played. They got too relaxed.
Hey, Sam, the problem
they got too relaxed.
Yeah, I agree. The problem that I'm having is that this isn't the first time that this has happened to Doc Rivers. It was like three times.
Three times.
Yeah, so that I think that's the only reason why.
3 times. The only coach in history.
So I guess it was one under Donald Sterling, and then another. I mean, the next 2 were under
Orlando with Tracy McGrady when it was up 3-1. When it was up 3-1 against Detroit.
Oh yeah.
And they thought they won.
Right. But what year was that?
That was 2003. They won.
Did the Pistons go to the finals that year?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. You know, you played against a championship. You played against a championship team. Things like that are gonna happen. I don't care.
No. Sim, if you watch that series, Tracy McGrady was dogging them. They couldn't do nothing.
But look. I mean, you coach a bunch of teams. You do a lot of coaching in the NBA. It's gonna happen. Has he won a championship?
Yes.
One. Yeah.
One.
He's been twice to the
He's
NBA
been twice to the
finals.
NBA finals, and he's won a championship.
And that's one against the Clippers.
I believe that Doc Rivers knows how to get it done. With the Clippers, no other coach has had any kind of success with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Understandable, Sim.
Right?
Yeah, I can agree with that too.
Hold up, Mark. Listen.
Yeah.
He's got a winning percentage of 6.631, a 63% winning percentage. Right? 6 playoff trips in 7 seasons.
Yeah.
You know, were they able to get over? No. Look what he did last year, not this season, the previous season with the Clippers. Everybody thought the Clippers were done. Right? No. Listen. Everyone thought that the Clippers might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah, but
right?
Sam,
but look what he did with that team.
Yeah, but then you go from what he did last year to what he did this year. And he got you don't look at that, unfortunately.
Oh, let me stop right here. Hold up. Josh, your audio is really bad, Josh. Your audio is really bad. But here's the thing. You know, you talk about what he did the previous year and then what he did this year, right? So he took a team the previous year that with players who had been there and had some chemistry, right? And was able to get them to be a hard-nosed defensive team that jumped into the playoffs. Right? You break that chemistry, not all of it, but you break some of that chemistry by moving players around and then, you know, bringing in these 2 guys. And they're supposed to do that. Okay? But everyone expects, because they brought in these 2 guys, that they're going to do just like the Miami Heat did or this team did or what he did. Stop talking, Mark. Stop talking.
Let me get his thought out.
Right? Or what he did in Boston when he took that team in his first year to the championship. It doesn't work like that with every single team. It doesn't work like that. And then what's going to happen, you're going to get a new coach come in. This team has played together for a year. They'll do better next year. And everyone's going to look and say that coach did it. When under Doc Rivers, they could have easily have done the same thing next season.
Sim, if he'd have lost in the finals to whoever, that's different. But when you lose to the Denver Nuggets, that is a lot different.
The Denver Nuggets all season long were the number 2 team, with the number 2 seed in the Western Conference all season long.
But Sam, you wouldn't put your money up and say that Denver had a chance against the LA Clippers. You would not say that.
No, hold on. You wouldn't put your money up because they didn't have the popularity or the name recognition. No. They were the second best team in the Western Conference all season. I don't even want to hear it. All season long.
No. Guys, number one. When you're going against Jamal Murray and Jokic, and you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, I'm not expecting Jokic and Jamal Murray to beat Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, that is the complete difference.
Okay,
Mark, I'm gonna chime in for a second. You can't just sit here and say Jamal Murray and Jokic versus Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, because there's still Jeremy Grant. There's still the guy who I picked as being the X factor, MPJ, who actually turned out to be the 3rd leading scorer on the team. Who would have thought a rookie would have scored like that? Who would have thought that the bench was as deep as it was with Denver? They had like 8 different guys that scored double figures over the whole playoffs, and not just Jamal Murray with this incredible pick and roll game that no one saw all season.
Okay, so
you
now
cannot sit here and say that the 2 best defensive players in the league could not defend that. Kawhi Leonard did not play as good defense as he did last year.
You're right. You're right. But
they just isolated 2 players against 1. Montrezl Harrell did not play the kind of defense he played last year.
No, he's been hard. No, but he's been horrible. But let me ask you a question, Nick. Just like how you step up. All right, just like how you pointed out, right? If you watch that series again, they ran double teams on Jokic, and Jokic carved them up for Jamal Murray, to MPJ, for them to score like that. They kept running the same plays over and over, and Doc did nothing to do to stop it.
Mark, they still played single coverage too. It's not just double coverage. They put the best, when Jokic was in the pinch post, they put Kawhi, they put Paul George, they put Montrezl, they put Zubac, they put all kinds of different players on him, and they mixed it up. It wasn't just double every single time. They mixed it up. They tried.
They tried trapping Jamal Murray out high. They did a whole lot of things. They did a whole lot. To me, it fell down to the players, man. Go ahead, Andy, and then we're gonna jump off. We're gonna jump over to Sportscaster and finish this convo.
I got a question. If we're talking about Doc and stuff like that, where would you rank him in the NBA coaches last season? Let's go this season, right? Or this season, whatever. Is he top 5, top 10?
Top 5 at least.
Top 5. Definitely top 5.
Top 5?
I think he's a top 5 coach.
Yeah, he's a top 5 coach. He's a top 5.
He's a top 5. You got Greg Popovich. You got Eric Spoelstra. Yeah, people forget about, man, Eric Spoelstra's been in Miami for a long time, bro. He's been in Miami for a long time, and all right. So I got him into. I feel he's a top 5 coach, man. He's been in Miami for a long time, and he keeps him winning.
Sin after this, he put himself there. After doing what he did this playoff series, he put himself in the top 5 because it was just a clinic of adjustments with him, bro.
But anyway, go ahead, Andy. Go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just wondering where you guys see ranking Doc.
Yeah, I definitely got him in the top 5 coaches in the NBA.
I ain't gonna front, Sid. Most of this coming off that I did not want the Lakers to just get an easy clean to the final.
But your emotions can't get in the way. Your emotions can't get in the way of whether or not Doc Rivers did the job or not.
Nah, man. When you
Mark could not be my general manager. Mark could not be the general manager. You know what I'm saying? After one game, it'd be one game. He's fired a coach. He's out of there. First game of the season.
Hold on, it's not like it was neck to neck in all the game. They was up 20 in 3 games straight, bro.
I know. Bro, and that's the reason. And that's the reason why.
That's what I'm salty about.
When you're up 20. You're up 3-1 and you're up 20. To me, the coach did their job in preparing you.
True. How much of a rope?
And now you got to finish it out.
How much of a rope do you give Buzenhauer?
You know what I mean?
No, he sucks. I always hated him. He sucks to me.
That was a total disrespect to the end of the block.
But let me get with these folks here for a second. Big shout out to Michael Parker. Thank you for the super chat. He said salute to the chat. He said Melo or bust, talking about LaMelo. And then Siobhan Robinson, thank you for the super chat. He said Knicks trade Randall, Dennis Smith Jr., 2 Mavs picks, and the number 27 pick for the number 1 pick. I mean, I don't know. Let me get to this caller. Caller, you live. What's popping?
What's good, son?
What's going on, man? I know you hear all the pandemonium going on here. What's happening with you, man?
First off, what's good to the chat? Shout out Knicks Nation. There's love from the Bronx. But first things first, I want to get out the way. If you can get LaMelo without giving up RJ or Mitch, I just feel like that's a win-win for me. And the second, Jaden McDaniels, back to the Brandon Ingram comparison.
Yeah, that's my guy right there.
Jaden McDaniels, his comparison, I feel like I see Brandon Ingram in him. So why spend mad contract on that when you can just get it in the draft? And 2, later on in the draft, I see Tyler Terry. I feel like that's the best shooter in the draft. I feel like if you compare them with RJ and Mitch, you don't need to give up Ntilikina or Kevin Knox. I feel like that's a solid draft right there. What you think?
So tell me who we getting again. I didn't hear. Tell me,
Jaden McDaniels and Tyler Terry.
Yeah, Tyler Terry's another one we should.
Brandon Ingram. Topic earlier.
I mean, and we're getting one of those guys with the 8th pick.
Tyler Terry is down like later on in the first round, but I feel like we could trade down if we can't get LaMelo.
No, but what I'm saying is, if we trading down with the 8th pick, who are we getting? What's our assets that we're bringing back?
I say you look at a team like the Pelicans or the Spurs, that they're in the teens. Like, they could probably give up a different asset for their pick, and you just flip swap right there.
Right.
I just don't. I'm not buying the Isaac Okoro or the Devin Vassell. I feel like they don't got the star potential. I just feel like Jaden McDaniels, that's the guy right there. That's the guy.
All right, he's going to be a project, and I think Leon Rose is looking to add something that's going to help us win. Because Jaden McDaniels, while I love Jaden McDaniels, he's definitely going to be a project.
Development at the end of the day. I mean, you got all those guys that they just signed. Like, they got to be about what they just not there for show. I mean, you got to trust the development, of course. But like, I just feel like you wouldn't have to go out there and sign a max contract Brandon Ingram when you got that in the draft. I see a lot of that in him.
Okay. All right. Hey, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the patience in the call.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, man. Peace. I don't know if there's a Brandon Ingram in this draft that low. You know what I mean? But let me get, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Join us over on Sportscaster. We're going to continue to talk about just the NBA, right? Different things. You know, we're going to talk about different things going on in the NBA. You know, we'll finish this conversation on Doc Rivers and coaching and all that good stuff. All right, the link is in the description, and I am posting the link right here in YouTube, so you can come on over, continue to talk about just NBA stuff. All right, you know, we'll cover some more things with the Knicks as well. You know, talk about some more draft scenarios, trade scenarios, and all that stuff. Join us over on Sportscaster right now, ladies and gentlemen. And do me a favor, go ahead and he was in here earlier, but I don't know if he's in here now. Go check out that State of the Knicks podcast. All right, just about every playoff game he's live, and that's Guillermo, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. That's Guillermo. He's branched off and he's got the State of the Knicks podcast. All right, he'll be back on. You know, he'll be back on sooner than later. Legion of Knicks podcast, not State of the Knicks podcast. See that they got me confused. Legion of Knicks podcast. Go over there and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the Legion of Knicks podcast. Actually, all you got to do is click on his name somewhere here in the chat, and then you'll be able to subscribe to Legion of Knicks podcast. So make sure you go check him out. And yeah, like I said, he's live just about every game. All right, we're gonna head on over to Sportscaster. Join us on Sportscaster. All right, for the remainder of the show, smash that like button for me, and You know, if you are a member and you would like to get into the video chat from, you know, on Sportscaster, just go into the comment section and you should see the link. Only for members, though. It's only invisible to members. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys. Well, YouTube, appreciate you guys. We are going entirely to Sportscaster right now.